Well, as some of you know, I'm a pain in the arse. And yesterday you saw Mark working really hard with the wisteria and me bossing him around, telling him what to do. And I said to you at the end of the video that later on I was going to go and do the chicken chicken house. And a couple of hours later I went down and started raking the straw out from the chicken house. And I managed one massive wheelbarrow load and pushed it, got stung, pushed it onto the compost heap down there, came back in, raked some more out, and then realised that I was sort of lifting it with my hands into the wheelbarrow because I can't use I can't really manage my hands very well and hold garden equipment, and I was exhausted, of course. So I had to come up and get help. I felt really bad because he'd already worked really hard, and but it was a job that couldn't really be left by that point. It was like, well, I've done this much because I'd raked loads of it out. There were big piles ready to transfer to the wheelbarrow. So he came down and I think did probably about 45 minutes down there. I just felt really bad. I felt really guilty. And we just carried on, and then I've chucked down loads of disinfectant. It's powder disinfectant, loads of Diatom. And what was irritating is that despite me raking out, being in there for an hour or two, holding it, picking it up with my hands, I didn't feel any red mite on me, which was the reason for doing it, because every time I came back, I got red mite on me. I didn't feel any red mite on me, and I had planned, once we'd finished, to come in and shower, and then I thought, no, I'm not going to do that because we've got to go down later and hold the cockerel, and I've got to give him an injection. So I decided to wait until after we put the chickens away before I had a hair wash and shower. But I didn't have any red mite crawling on me. So I think that the effort, although it looks nice, I think it was wasted, really. But it's done, and I think we did it just before we left for the UK. I think we cleared it out in there, so that's quite unusual to do it as often. But it's actually, when you get right down to the bottom, it's a dirt floor. And of course, as they're scraping through it, all the dirt comes up, and it just looks, the straw gets duller and duller and duller, and just looks really dirty. And we should have worn masks, and we didn't. Before anybody says anything, we didn't. So I'm still separating the chickens. I let them, again, I did a third attempt at integration. And actually the hen, I sat in the doorway of the coop, and there were piles, because Mark hadn't actually managed to push the deeper wheelbarrow up onto the compost bit heap. There were a couple of piles of the spent straw. And when I let the older chickens in, she came in and she was raking through in there. And the cockerel went into the coop. So he was in the coop with the 3 new hens, who weren't frightened of him. And every so often, if he was close, they'd squat and he'd sort of ignore them, really. But he didn't really bother with them. And I think it's when she's involved that it gets iffy. So, but she didn't come in. She just stayed poking through the spent straw, and then because I wanted to come away, I moved them all out again and secured the younger ones. I just left the younger ones in the coop because that's where they liked being, and of course with all the fresh straw in there's lots of seed heads in there's lots to investigate, and so all was well this morning. I think the cockerel's improving. He didn't spend any time up here by our door, by the back door, which he has been. I don't think he's shaking his head so much. He had another injection in his leg yesterday, evening, and it has to be improving, doesn't he? He's had a massive worm dose and the antibiotic, so he has to be improving. I feel that he seems better. You still hear him choking a bit, but only a bit, not as much as he was. Okay, so nothing happening today manually, nothing. I'm really not going to do that. But what I've had waiting on the table is I ordered a Fire Stick from Amazon. This is the remote that needs batteries in and I can't open the back. I've got to install that today. I just attempted to install it. I plugged it into the back of the telly, and the problem is over there is there's very little in the way of plug sockets, and it needs plugging in. And there's plug socket. There's a lot of stuff plugged in over there. Trying to work out who's what and what's what. I think I've unplugged my PS3, unplugged the HDMI end of the PS3, and then just remembered on the side of the telly there's an HDMI. So I said to Mark, I'm sure there's 4 HDMI outlets. But I've unplugged my PS3 HDMI, but I can't work out what plug belongs to what. It's just a tangle of wires in dust. And I thought that is something that Mark's going to have to sort out when he comes. He's gone back up to bed, as he normally does in the morning. He'll have to sort that out, and then I'll do it. We need a French extension lead over there because it's a French plug. And once it's plugged in, I can set it up, and then I'm going to need to jailbreak it, which I was beginning to watch a video on. For the second time, I was beginning to watch a video on YouTube, and then realised I actually have to have the Fire Stick ready to go. So he's doing it all from the Fire Stick. I hadn't even done that. So that's the job for today. It's what I call admin or technology, and I hate doing it, but it's the job that I do. No massive cooking today. I'm going to do probably salmon. I've got some salmon in the freezer. Which you cook. It's one that you cook from frozen, and I'll do it. I've got ratatouille in there that I made the other day that I was defrosting, so we'll have that. Or we might have salad and some baked potatoes. That's the plan. So 2 things. There has been a photo, and it was. Where did I read it? Let me see where I read it. Of Kamala Harris. I don't know how you pronounce her name. I'm going to have to learn that, aren't I? Kamala. So this is an email from Craig from Full Fact. And he says that we've seen a claim that Joe Biden has passed away. He hasn't. I don't know who's proved that, but he hasn't. He was talking to her on the phone, or wasn't he on speaker yesterday? Another claim that Kamala Harris was pictured with Jeffrey Epstein. She wasn't. The picture has been edited. The original photo showed Miss Harris with her husband Douglas Emhoff. Mr. Emhoff's face has been edited out and replaced with Epstein's. I heard some months ago that Princess Catherine was dead. I don't know who it was at Wimbledon. And I've got a question. I've got a question for Trump supporters. I want to know what it is that he's offering you that makes him attractive. I want to know why you support him. I want to know why you would support somebody who is a bully, an abuser, has been convicted of felonies, is a misogynist, and such a nasty man. I want to know. Somebody tell me what attracts you to this man. I don't understand. I really don't understand. And I can't understand why he would be better. He's not even intelligent. Yeah, so somebody come tell me what attracts you to Trump. What is it about Trump that's going to make a difference? I do want to know, because at the moment I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. I think that's it. I'm going to finish. This is my first coffee, which I'm going to finish, and then I'm going to sit and play some games and turn the fan off because I've cooled down now. I've got a bit warm, and now I'm going to turn the fan off because I'm getting a bit cold. And try not to do too much today and recover from yesterday. I could hardly move when we finished yesterday. I'm surprised actually that I've gone down to the chickens and walked down there normally. I really, really couldn't move very well yesterday after I'd finished. So, yeah, not going to do a lot today. Thanks for watching. See you soon.